Scott Golden here with the Wrestling Challenge review series for the 11th of August, 1991. Wrestling Challenge at this time, still a really good show. Well, good for the sake of at least getting people over. Not that WWE current day is worried about getting people over. They're certainly not. They're just worried about getting your money. But anyway, back then they cared about getting people over to a greater degree. This is the August 11th, 1991 edition of things, hosted by Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, Jim Neidhart, all wearing Western cowboy hats, including a special report segment showing highlights from last week's interview from Superstars with Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Also, comments from Warrior and Hogan afterwards about their upcoming match at SummerSlam, including a second Jake Roberts Ultimate Warrior segment from the cemetery, and also including SummerSlam report. Gino Okerlund featuring comments from Mr. Perfect and the coach, the Nasty Boys and Jimmy Hart, the Legion of Doom, Ted DiBiase and Sensational Sherry, Virgil, the Big Boss Man and the Mountie, and Jimmy Hart, along with their matches. Also features a closing segment with Bobby Heenan appeared at the broadcast booth with the NWA belt, saying comparing this belt to Hulk Hogan's belt would be like comparing ice cream to horse manure. One of the best lines ever. Ric Flair is still under contract to WCW at the time that this is, I believe, taped, although not on August 11th. I believe his last day is either something like August 1st, August 2nd, but they're still talking about him being under contract when taped. Bret Hart and Ed Moretti. Bret cut an insert promo about his match with Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam during this matchup, and ultimately gets him going there. And again, as mentioned, we kind of get the wonder that is a basic Bret Hart match at the time. Punch kick, Russian leg sweep, and the elbow off the second, and then the sharpshooter. Bret Hart, of course, going into being the Intercontinental Champion at SummerSlam, which is a good thing here. Ed Moretti is a go-around with a guy who basically did a bunch of enhancement work around the time in the run. Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior talk about being on the same page for a while here. There is a WWF magazine with their joint picture on it. Warrior basically says that he will destroy the weaponry that is Sergeant Slaughter. Hogan is on the same page with him. Of course, Hogan leaves Warrior leaves rather after the SummerSlam deal here. Sergeant Slaughter in an enhancement match coming out next. Sergeant Slaughter is, I guess you'd say very, very direct in his aggression here. Slaughter with Adnan and Mustafa defeats Vern Siebert and Jeff Wheeler in a handicap match, 234. Both men submitted the camel clutch during the bout. The Triangle of Terror, which is Slaughter, Adnan, and Mustafa, cut in insert promo out their match at SummerSlam. Punches, kicks, gutbuster, and the camel clutch, double camel clutch actually, by Sergeant Slaughter, managing to get a victory here and ultimately getting things going. Slaughter with a bunch of body slams and other basic maneuvers along the way here. The Natural Disasters cut in insert promo about the upcoming match with the Bushwhackers, basically saying they're going to destroy the Bushwhackers and break the heart of the fans as quickly and effectively as they can. Greg Valentine cuts an insert promo, basically almost the same as last week, talking about IRS and the destruction of the IRS man going forward. The Rockers up next. Rockers, actually, Shawn Michaels wearing a backwards hat, which was cool at the time. Certainly not as tone deaf as it appears here all these years later. But anyway, talking 30 years later. Can't believe it's 30 years ago when this stuff was here. Anyway, basic enhancement match here. Michaels and Jannetty getting into it with their adversaries here, which happen to be Black Knight and Shane Croft, 203. Jannetty pins Croft after Michaels throws Jannetty on top of Croft. Also some arm drags and drop kicks. good double team maneuvers by the Rockers. Rockers continue to be the tag team of excellence, as it were, tag team specialists, whatever you want to call them, and they kind of are going through a period of weird time where they're not really directed here in 1993. We go to the run of things there, and making it work. We kind of go into the next in the series here of matches, which in this case happen to be more geared towards the SummerSlam run. SummerSlam is second biggest pay-per-view of the year at the time, bigger than the Rumble actually right now. Rumble hadn't really forayed into being bigger until 1993 or so, when they start doing, or 92 perhaps, when they start doing the World Championship at the Rumble. And then, of course, we go to the LOD cutting a promo on the Nasty Boys, basically saying they're tougher than the Nasty Boys could ever be. Then we go to Jimmy Hart cutting a promo for the Natural Disasters in a squash match. At one point, it's talked about that they have their first real match at SummerSlam against the Bushwhackers. I don't know why you would say that when they're in squash matches here. First real at the time just seems like an oxymoron. Enhancement match here. Typhoon manages to get a couple of really hard clotheslines in on his opponent. The opponents for the Natural Disasters here happen to be Mike Russell and Hutch Thomas. 240. Typhoon pins Russell after a smash following the sit-down splash from Earthquake. Also during the bout, the Bushwhackers and Andre the Giant cut an insert promo talking about their SummerSlam match. Then we move to The Undertaker with Paul Bearer defeating Ray Williams 122 with a tombstone after the bout. Williams is placed in the body bag. During the bout, Paul Bearer cuts a promo on the Ultimate Warrior. They're still doing Warrior-related matches around the loop, including a series of body bag matches going forward there. Again, Undertaker punch kick, flying clothesline, tombstone piledriver. Not a big thing in 1991 for him to be taking that on. They do the cemetery thing with Jake Robertson and friends. Curt Hennig says that his match with Bret Hart is going to be the one to watch. Bret Hart is a good technician, but he's not perfect. Coach is at ringside with Curt Hennig during that match. I think they finished Coach up. Basically, Virgil says he's going to get rid of Ted DiBiase for humiliating him all those years. For 4 years, he held him back, and DiBiase basically says that for 4 years, he gave Virgil the best life he could going forward there. Then the Mountie talks about real law and order and justice being the Mountie way, and so they kind of go forward that way. We go then to the, I guess you'd say almost one of the last championship or opportunities for a match here. After the Undertaker gets rid of his adversary, they are hyping the six-man tag, which really seems like a throwaway. British Bulldog, Ricky Steamboat, and Texas Tornado versus Paul Roma, Hercules, and the Warlord. Just seems like some really weird stuff. Anyway, they also hype the Bossman and Mountie thing one more time. Mountie basically saying he's going to eradicate the Bossman and bring real law, order, and justice to the WWF. We will be back with more right after this.